Hey you guys, welcome back to our channel. So I'm doing a vlog this week, a little bit different because I'm going to get my COVID vaccine. So I'm driving, so I won't be looking at the camera much unless I come to a red light, but that's where I'm headed right now. So this is my first dose of 2. I'm pretty sure I'm getting the Pfizer vaccine, but we'll see. So a little backstory, if you don't know, TJ and I actually had COVID back in July of 2020, like the end of July, and it was not a good time. Thankfully, our symptoms were pretty mild compared to a lot of people's, and we had even some different symptoms. So like for example, for me, I got COVID first, and when I got it, the night before I started showing symptoms, I was having like chest pain for whatever reason. I don't know if that's related to it or not, but it was painful. And TJ was working and I was texting him because I was just like, it was weird. I had never experienced that before, and it just eventually it went away so that I could sleep, but it just was a weird thing altogether. So I was texting him and I was like, I hope I don't have COVID, and like, you know, at the time just being funny, whatever. But the next day I started actually having symptoms for it, and even then, like, I figured it was probably that, but he didn't think it was at the time, because he wasn't sick. And then 3 days later, he started having the same symptoms. So anyways, got a positive test result back. So we both had it, and weirdly enough, we had some different symptoms. So like, we had the same ones as far as like headaches, body aches, feeling hot, like a low-grade fever, all of that. But then I had the trouble breathing, like I was struggling, and he didn't have that. But then he also had the loss of smell and loss of taste, but I didn't have that. So I don't know how we both had slightly different symptoms at the same time, but that's how it went. So he had to quarantine from work for like 2 weeks, and then he was okay to go back. As far as we know, I don't know if Naya had it or not because she never showed any symptoms, so there's no idea there. But anyways, he's already had his vaccinations done, and so now it's my turn. Here in South Carolina, they just opened up vaccinations for everybody. So if you're 16 or older, as of March 31st, you could go and get, or at least schedule your appointment. I don't think I'm gonna record in there, obviously, just because I feel, you know, there's other people in there probably, and the nurses and stuff. I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable, but I will let you know how it goes afterwards. Typically, if you don't know, when you get your shot, you have to get your shot, and then you have to wait there 15 minutes just to make sure that you're not having any kind of reactions to the vaccine, and then you're good to go. And then when I go get my second dose, I think you have to wait somewhere between 21 to 28 days before you can get your second dose. So I'll be getting that one probably in like May. But yeah, so we're gonna see how it goes. I'm not really worried about like any reactions or anything like that, because like I said, I've already had the real thing, and it can't possibly be any worse than that was. From what I've heard from everybody that's gone and got their shots, is that the first one, like, you don't have any symptoms or anything. Usually everybody just says their arm is sore, which that's typically how any vaccine shot is. And I've heard a lot of people say that their arm just feels really heavy, but no symptoms on the first one. And then the second one is usually where people start to have symptoms like chills, headaches, body aches, maybe a slight fever, but usually it only lasts like 24 to 48 hours, so it's nothing like long term or anything like that. So, but yeah, so I feel pretty comfortable with getting it. I know some people are still questioning it and not sure and don't really know what to think, but from everything I've heard and, you know, TJ and I talking about it and all, I feel comfortable enough to get it. I don't really feel worried about anything. So I'm getting it just because, number one, I don't want to get COVID again, because it, like I said, it was not great. Even for just having the mild symptoms, I don't want that again. I hated like that feeling. It was so hard to breathe. Like, you can breathe normal, but I would go up literally 8 steps and then I could not breathe. And then you're trying to breathe and it just felt like you could breathe to a certain point and then it was like somebody's like pushing you, like you can't breathe anymore. I don't know. It was just a weird experience I've never felt before, and I'm not trying to do that again. So, number one, I don't want to get that all over again. Number two, I want life to somewhat, I think that was my turn. I'm trying to look at GPS on a different phone. But number two, I just want life to somewhat get back to normal. Like, I miss not being able to travel and not really being able to be around friends and family. With TJ's job and him working in the emergency department, that was one of the 2 specialties outside of the ICU that got hit with COVID the hardest, like trying to treat patients that have it. A lot of them, like residents or attendings, got pulled to help in the ICU because they were getting so many people with it. And I remember TJ's last ICU rotation, I think it was back in February, was really rough. They were having a ton of COVID people. Even in February, almost a year later, they were having a lot of patients with it and they were dying like left and right. And I'm talking like 4 or 5 every day. And he's doing like 12-hour shifts and they're just like, they're all going. So that was really rough for him because he's not used to so many people dying so quickly together. Like, as a doctor, they do face deaths, but in the emergency department, it's not as close or as often, I guess I should say, as it was like that. Like, I've never had him tell me, oh, we had 5 patients die tonight in the emergency room. Like, sure, you might have lost 1, maybe 2, but it was just crazy. So I'm hoping that with getting vaccinations and other people are getting them too, that life is going to start going back to normal. And yeah, I just want some kind of normalcy. And then it puts people's minds at ease because, like I said, also, we weren't able to really go see family because of TJ's job. We didn't want to, like, him bringing whatever back to me and then I might have whatever and we're going to see family and friends or whoever, and it's just a lot of unknowns about if you had it with you or not, or if you were bringing it to somebody. And so I feel like getting our shots and everything, and, you know, our families are going to be getting theirs, it'll put more minds at ease as far as going to visit, especially since we live in different states from everybody. I feel like it'll make them feel a little bit more comfortable with us coming to visit, and especially once they're all vaccinated themselves. So I know people are still a little unsure about it, especially in the Black community, just because of the whole Tuskegee experiment that happened a long time ago. But I would say to reach out to someone if you're unsure if you should get it or not, or you're thinking about it, but you're just like, you have questions. I would say to reach out to someone for questions. Like, either ask your doctor or ask a friend that you know of that's a doctor. I'm not saying to reach out on Facebook because everybody loves to give their opinions on Facebook, but like ask a trusted medical professional that you know, whether that's your doctor or whether that's, you know, TJ, I'm sure wouldn't even mind sharing his thoughts and, you know, giving some, I don't know the word I'm looking for, giving some clarity on COVID and the vaccine and all of that. But I would definitely say to do that if you're thinking about it, or if you're just like, I feel a little uneased about the whole thing and I would like some peace of mind. So here is to getting back to normal, getting to visit grandparents and family members and go on vacations, and keeping Naya safe because she can't get the vaccine. She's still too little. I don't even know when at that point they'll let like all ages get it, but at least her mom and dad will have it, and we'll be keeping her safe for hopefully as long as possible. Like I said, she's already been exposed. We both had it, so I'm sure she probably had it herself and just was asymptomatic, but there's always the chance that she could possibly get it again, and so I'm just trying to keep her covered as much as I possibly can. So I will update you guys after the shot and let you know how it went, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, so my first dose is done. I did get the Pfizer. So yeah, they just have you go in, you check in, you fill out this form, and then they have you go and wait in line, and then they'll call you back to get your shot. When I got up there, the lady basically just told me what to expect, all of that symptom stuff. She gave me this little like fact sheet that has stuff on there, just need to know information. And then they gave me my shot, and I had to go schedule my second dose, and then I had to sit in like their little waiting area and wait 15 minutes, and then I could just leave. So there was a ton of people there, like a ton. Everything was all spaced out and everything like that. But my first one is done, so I have to come back at the end of April for my second dose. So I'm sure I'll be fine with this first one. We'll see how the second one goes. I did take a picture of this. I can't even remember what it was. It was something, just information about the vaccine, just like facts and things of that nature. So I'll probably post that on our Instagram account, because there's so many people that's kind of giving out false information, or just people that aren't doctors sharing medical advice. So anyway, I'm gonna head home, and yeah, we're at least halfway there now, and I'm hoping that things will be normal, hopefully by this summer, maybe at least by the fall, but we'll see how that goes.